good morning, everybody. And I guess if I reflect a week ago or so when we were in here, I said that we would learn more about our team, and I think we have learned a lot more in a week with the 3 games. It's difficult prep. It's difficult for the kids on their bodies. I thought we had managed it, though, from a minutes and all of that perspective. Those first 2 games played fairly well against High Point, and they play all 5 out and shoot a lot of threes, so that was a new game plan for us and something a little bit different. And then a really quality Boise team the next night who I thought we played pretty well and really took some good steps in that game on both ends, offensively, defensively, and then obviously set up the matchup with Texas. And I thought we competed at a really, really high level. It was a good game for us to play. Obviously, result not at all what we wanted. But I thought our kids battled. We were waiting for that big run that we usually make, and the rebounding turnovers just kind of cost us, especially the turnovers. We couldn't make the runs especially the rebounds, because we couldn't get stops and get rebounds to get out in transition a little bit. But gave ourselves a chance, had it to 1, and then obviously the ball to tie late, and just didn't execute properly. But we'll be better because we played it. We got to rest yesterday and today a little bit, and then we'll get back at it tomorrow and put our attention moving forward. But thought we played pretty well and competed, and just have to get a little bit better.
You feel like the game against Texas, going back to last year, did you make the necessary strides from last year when you faced them to where you faced them this year? Did you see that play out?
Yeah, it had a completely different feel than it did. Not that we weren't competitive a year ago, but it was 15 plus just about the whole game, and then ended up losing, I think, by 21 and scored 49 on them last year. So, yeah, it had a completely different feel. We were in the game the whole way. I liked the game plan. The foul trouble and rebounding just kicked our butts a little bit in that game, and they're physical, and that was as physical of any game that I've coached in. But I was proud of our kids for battling. Maybe have to play a little smarter in certain situations when you look back at it. But for the most part, yeah, it felt completely different. I think they're better, obviously, having their point guard, Rory Harmon, back, who's just one of the elite players in the country, to go with Booker now. And, Booker hit some huge shots, just, like some studs do. But I thought JJ was really good. That kept us in it. And Jordan had a really good night. And took us too long to get Shaw going, but she got going a little bit late. And then we needed probably just one more person. But, yeah, I thought, if that's top 4 or 5 team in the country, then I thought we belonged in every aspect of it. So, yeah, I think we left feeling like, okay, this, last year was like, ooh, all right, maybe some work to do. This year was like, no, we're there. We're there. But we need to find a way to win it. We can't just play with them. If we want to be there, we got to find a way to win those games.
Coach, I don't want this to sound like a moral victories question, but is there value for your players in having that measuring stick? Okay, this is where we are now, and this is where we need to be to compete and win the Big 12, because we're going to play more games.
Yeah, like you said, it's not moral victory. It's information, and information is good. Experience is good. Now we will talk about this. We will draw off these experiences. You try to do some situations in practice, but when you're winning, I don't know what our margin of victory was going into that game. It was like 40 plus. We've had none of that. Texas hadn't had any of that either. So, they would probably say they didn't finish the game off the way they wanted to. We had moments that we didn't either. But I thought both teams competed at a really high level. It felt like a Sweet 16, Elite 8 type matchup for sure if you were in the building.
I guess the biggest component then would be the information you got in a game that was highly competitive and stressful situations, because you really haven't had that.
Yeah, no, we haven't had it at all. And again, you try to do it in practice, but you still can't. It just doesn't have that feel at all. And so, yeah, again, we'll draw on it. Obviously, they've been in the Big 12. That's a Big 12 caliber team. I think they're second in the country in the net when it came out yesterday. So you're talking about one of the nation's elite. They're about to play Notre Dame, I think, Thursday. So, yeah, we're going to learn from it. It will help in a lot of areas. Helps our kids' confidence going forward, I think. Kids that hadn't played against that level, that are new to the program, now have a taste. So hopefully we can draw on it. Just got to find a way to win them next time.
Coach, did you come away? I shouldn't say evaluation-wise, because you've seen her all year and recruited her. But is your thought process to what Jordan Thomas can contribute, did it change at all after seeing what she did over the three games there?
No, I think it was probably about the same. No, she's, had a double-double in one of the games, I believe. Yeah, she's going to continue to get better and better. Didn't get much of an opportunity because of foul trouble against Texas, and she's going to have to learn that lesson. a little bit, and those are very savvy veteran post players at Texas. Those are some of the elite post players in the country, and so yeah, she's just going to have to learn through that at that level. But she's going to be somebody we count on all year long, and she will get better, and will be a really good player in a Mountaineer uniform.
So you go, you know, Iowa State with Crooks, Kansas State with Lee. Can you draw, like, to her, you know, hey, the Texas game, and this is what, you know.
Yeah, it would be one thing, one way that we can take it and run with it and have an experience and information, and we can go back and cut up the film and show her again. She just didn't get to play enough. That's the disappointing part. I wish she could have had more minutes to play against those quality post players. But yeah, that's what it does. We'll see that level of post play again in our league, and hopefully she'll be a little better prepared next time.
One of your processes that you've talked about through much of the preseason, the early part, is getting your rotation, people playing together with more post players available now. How much is that changing, do you feel like, your offense? If you don't get fast breaks or steals in the backcourt, you have to work to, hey, let's be a little more patient, see if we can work inside out. Where are you in that?
Yeah, I mean, the goal is always to play inside out. Now, I think there's different ways. You can go through your post to play inside out. You can do it off dribble penetration, which we did a lot in that game. The goal really against Texas was somewhat to try to pull their bigs away from the basket so we could get to the rim where they didn't take up as much space, and we could use maybe that length against them a little bit. You know, so, but then obviously our posts weren't in there as much either, just to throw them the ball. And again, we just could never get a feel with our post play because we were in foul trouble all night. And so Jordan, who we like to throw the ball to in there, just literally, I think in the first half played 1 minute and 14 seconds, I think. And, you know, we don't use Kylie to do that, but even CC. And then, you know, Donnell played really well, though, and gave us some really big minutes. So we do have bodies. We threw them all at them, but I think every one of our post players had 2 fouls, all 6 of them in the first half. So that was a little difficult to find any rhythm. But yeah, we need to play through the post a little bit more, probably even at times. But unfortunately, that game it didn't work out because of foul trouble mostly.
Is that kind of a thing where you've got to figure out who might be the best, most effective against a certain opponent, whether you're doing one of those different kind of tactics that you talked about?
Yeah, well, it's just matchup driven. You know, there's times when they're big like that you want the Kylie to be in there because now that big has to guard Kylie on the perimeter. And then there's times we may want to go a little bit bigger and put a back-to-basket scoring post player depending on the matchup. So a lot of it with our post play will probably be game-to-game specific based on who we're playing, and that doesn't help them, the post players, because, you know, some minutes, you know, might be a little more for one game. Like Kylie go back to Texas A&M, they were in drop coverage and allowing her to get some perimeter opportunities. And then there's other games where we have a true back-to-back advantage and we want to pound the paint, and so we go with a little bit bigger 4 and the 5. So it will just depend, but that's nice too to have options.
You got a game coming up on Friday that when you were at your other place, you look forward to playing. Being a mid-major, taking a power conference school in December, in the morning. How do you approach this with your team? Because this is going to be a unique deal.
Yeah, the kid games are great. There's fun. It's a different energy. It's if you've ever been to one, it feels different, and they're playing all the different, you know, videos, and they're screaming at this little songs and all the different stuff that they play. So it's a different environment. We didn't play very well a year ago in that game, and so and so we did not play very well in that game. But you know, I think we already have like over 8,000 kids coming to this game, so it's going to be a fun atmosphere. The whole day is just different. We don't do shoot around. We typically even send them home the night before with their pregame meal that they're supposed to heat up and take a picture of it to send it to us, so we don't get them up at 6 just to go eat a meal and then send them home and not do a shoot around. So it's a little bit different. So it's just we have a pretty mature group, so we'll talk it through. We've practiced it the earlier morning a couple times last week just to get ready for that one. So we have 10 a.m., 10:30 practices, so we can kind of get them up and practice at that time, because that's not our normal practice time. So just finding a routine. We'll draw off last year's experience to be a little bit better. I know East Tennessee State just beat Memphis the other day, so so they're coming off of a name win anyway in Memphis, and so we'll start that prep tomorrow for them. We're off again today, so we've needed probably 2 days off, and we'll regroup and get back at it tomorrow. I don't, but I learned a long time ago when I was at SFA, and really one of my earlier kid games, but we played at OU, and Sherry Cole was the coach, and I walked out to shake her hand, and she had earplugs in, and I was like, uh-oh, might have messed this one up here a little bit, and it was pretty loud and raucous that day, but no, I typically do not, but might need to invest.
we've talked about this before, like even going back to last year. Kaya does so much, passing, steals, defense, rebounding specific. Do you need a little bit more scoring
I do.
from her?
We do. Yeah, you know, she hasn't shot it as well. She'd been shooting it so well all summer and preseason and fall, and she just hadn't shot the three. And I think she turned a couple of them down this weekend that I wish she would have just taken. And Jordan missed her on a cut, and I think Jordan was thinking she would stay for the three, and Kaya had missed one the possession or two before. So I know what Kaya was thinking was, let me try to go get a layup. And so we weren't completely connected with that. But yeah, Kaya can help us more offensively. We need her to help us more offensively, and so we'll have to clip some stuff up and see if we can't get that confidence back at the level that we think she's capable of scoring.
You said in the past she relegates the scoring to other people. So is it a matter of her, being more aggressive and or so?
Well, I think it's on all of us. It's on the guards to get her probably more opportunities. It's on Kaya to take advantage of the opportunities she gets. It's on me to probably force the issue a little bit too, and maybe I can help it too and just call her number a little bit where now she knows that this is specifically for her and for her to get that shot or make the play. And so it's on all of us. It starts with me and goes to the guards and then on Kaya as well. So yeah.
What's your approach to you're obviously the volume of games is going down a little bit in December, but you got a conference game early, Colorado. What's your approach this month, because you don't have as many games?
Yeah, we don't. We didn't really want it that way. I think I've kind of talked. Our finals week is later than everybody else, and so this next week is finals week, and it was just hard to find games because of that, and we worked really hard at it. So yeah, we were only going to play 3 games, I think, in a 15-day period, so one every 4 or 5 days. So we'll get to practice, which may not excite the players, but it does coaches a little bit. So we get to work on a few things that, we've been neglected, because we've really played like every Tuesday, Friday, or Tuesday, Saturday since the season started, and then the 3 games last weekend. So it's been a little bit of us, and obviously prepping for an opponent all the time. So we will be able to put a lot of emphasis on us starting next week.
Can you hit the pause button and do a little self-scouting?
Yeah, we can do that, which we would do anyway.
Yeah.
But certainly next week in particular, I think we would be doing probably quite a bit of that, and probably a little bit more individualized film on just really trying to help the kids figure out where they're at, and establishing some roles and identities, and probably some team meetings or individual meetings, just to get everybody on the same page before we go to Temple and then to Colorado right before Christmas.
Thanks.
Good.